Also, once again, all of these motherfuckers that talk about DEI actually want DEI, which was ironically initiated to address the only ever living, breathing form of DEI that ever existed in the way that they present it, which is for white people. Okay? That's it. For white men in particular. That's what the OG DEI was, when no one got a look because only white men were qualified for the job automatically. You were automatically unqualified. So when these guys say DEI, 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 we got to eliminate DEI, what they're saying is we have to go back to only having DEI just for white men and maybe some white women too. They want to forcibly only hire conservative white men. The other side of the story with Bari Weiss, of course, is that she may have had a role in the assassination of Refat al-Arer, who is the famous English teacher, Palestinian poet. You know, for the record, American Prospect and even Reason, I would say, does a lot of original reporting, but especially American Prospect, unlike any of these other outlets. The American Prospect is not an editorial, an editorial magazine. And yes, I know David Dane had some words for it. I saw it earlier. I have much to say about Last Week Tonight, lumping us in with National Review and The Federalist and Pod Save and Jacobin as an opinion-heavy outlet. We are a news outlet that, regardless of our perspective, provides fact-based reporting. Putting us on this list is factually inaccurate. Our ratio of reporting to opinion is substantially less than, say, the New York Times. Everyone who has submitted an opinion piece to me, who I unilaterally tell we don't run outside opinion pieces, would know this. I Am John Oliver says that at Last Week Tonight, our staff works incredibly hard to research stories before we write something and vigorously check afterward. On several occasions, that research has led them to me. I've had hours of conversations with Last Week Tonight producers about their stories. Why bother to check your facts with the editor of an opinion-heavy outlet? Because we're not that. We report the news. We tell you who has power and what they're doing with it. And it's bullshit to label us any other way. How many times do I have to catch traditional media outlets using our reporting without credit before we're credited as a news outlet? This feels to me like a error born entirely out of those like media bias reporting charts that some of these guys do look at. They look at like, you know, the media bias reporting charts and go, oh, well, this is a biased outlet according to this media bias reporting chart. So it must not be it must not be like on the ground, straight up news reporting. I don't think this was deliberate. I don't think that he made this, he actively chose to put the American Prospect on there as a opinion editorial outlet. The other places can sometimes do new reporting. Even I have sometimes done new reporting, but that doesn't mean that I am a news reporter. I am a political commentator. The American Prospect, on the other hand, is doing journalism. They do not do a lot of editorial. Yeah, after Bari Weiss was made editor-in-chief, CBS News is actually now uplifting stories from Weiss's Free Press. Some NYPD officers worry about Mamdani becoming the New York City mayor, the Free Press reports. They're going to make me vote illegally even extra hard for this man, huh? They're going to make me vote harder for this guy. Oh, yeah. There's also this story.
Week I did.
In this, in today's news, in unimaginable incompetence, Glenn Beck reveals the FBI is so desperate for proof of an Antifa network that FBI Director Kash Patel is sending FBI agents to his house to hit Beck up directly for tips.
The TV show that apparently got the FBI's attention. The topic was initial investigation, a jumping off point, shattering the myth.
What is this? Have you found an apartment yet? You're going to have to move next month? What does that mean? Oh, in New York? Oh, no.
That Antifa just, you know. It's just leaderless and decentralized. We thought, no, it's really not. So we dove in headfirst and we analyzed the Antifa network, and we went from the street thugs to the support groups, eventually to the funding. Okay. To say the FBI was interested in this might be an understatement. Let's just say the FBI is turning over every single stone. It is so clear to me that they are exploring all angles of this, and they are talking to anyone and everyone that can give them any kind of information. How do I know? Saturday, I get a phone call. The director would like to send over some agents to speak to you, Glenn. And I'm like, the FBI agents? Yes, you said some things that they need to talk to you about. And I'm like, well, good things or bad things? They'll be over. So they sat in my living room. 3 agents sat in my living room on Saturday afternoon for almost 2 hours. And I immediately called Jason. I'm like, Jason, you're the researcher. It's your fault. I'm going to throw you under the bus. You better get your butt over here. So Jason was there, and my wife and Jason and I sat there, and it was surreal at one point. I talked to him for about 15 minutes just going over the Tides Foundation and saying, if you understand Tides, you'll understand how difficult your job is going to be. And this is information that I first gave on Fox years ago. Let me just say this. Finally, we have an administration and an FBI director that is willing to go in deep.
Exactly. Finally. Finally. Finally, someone dumb enough finally, someone stupid enough to run the FBI that they would go to Glenn Beck for this kind of information. To be clear, Glenn Beck episode the FBI is interested in is the same chalkboard crazy wall stuff Beck has been doing since the Obama administration among the nodes in Antifa's network, Charles Schwab and Fidelity. You're just mad he found out who Mr. Antifa is and you still don't know who Q is? It's true. FBI fell off so hard since Comey went partisan. Yeah, National Guild of Lawyers. Obviously, that's Antifa. Act Blue is Antifa. These guys are fucking insane. The problem is we are run by incompetent morons. So their insanity under normal circumstances would lead to any sort of like investigation immediately being declared too stupid to follow through on. Unfortunately, it doesn't even fucking matter anymore. Okay?
All right.
Social media as a news source, Harry Emden ran the numbers. He crunched the numbers again. If you're wondering why your boy is in the crosshairs of some very powerful people all the fucking goddamn time, well, maybe this has something to do with it. Let's take a look.
If it is on social media, it must be true. Okay, maybe not. But there are some new trends on who is getting what news from where on social media. And for that, CNN chief data analyst Harry Enton. Really interesting trends that you picked up on here. Let's start with the who is getting their news from social media in general now versus a few years ago.
I just want to note that if I say it on social media, John, it's 100% true.
Totally.
You can trust everything, including that the New York Yankees stink. But take a look here. I think this is a very clear shift. I would argue it's a monumental shift because traditionally speaking, folks who got their news off of social media were Democrats. You go back to 2021, 52% of Democrats got their news off of social media compared to just 45% of Republicans. Jump ahead now to this year. What do we see? We see the Republican number up like a rocket. Now you get 55% of Republicans who get their news on social media compared to just 52% of Democrats. So Democrats have stayed steady over the last 4 years at this point in the Joe Biden administration, while Republicans have seen a 10-point climb, and now more Republicans get their news off of social media. And if you're on social media a lot like I am, I don't think that's too much of a surprise.
No, not at all. Specifically Twitter. If you're on Twitter, you've noticed a shift here.
Oh, I would think so. I think there are a lot of folks who have been on Twitter and may have realized, wait a minute, there seem to be a lot more Republicans in my feed, especially since Elon Musk took over. And oh my goodness gracious, what a tremendous, monumental shift on the regular news consumers on Twitter/X. You go back to 2021, the party ID margin. Democrats were 37 points more likely, or 37 points more likely to be a Democrat on Twitter or X than a Republican. Jump ahead to this side of the screen. It's completely changed around. Oh my goodness gracious. Now it's a 14-point lead for Republicans on Twitter/X. We're talking about a 51-point shift in the margin, and John and I were talking about it just before. You can see it with your own eyes. This is polling reflecting what you're seeing in the social media real world, where all of a sudden, John, you just see a lot more Republicans in your.
I wonder how that happened. How do we combat this outside of heavy internet censorship? First of all, the heavy internet censorship is coming regardless of this, in spite of this. There's just, I don't know. You just keep pushing. Dark woke irony leftists got them all banned today. My friends run this site. Yeah, I saw that. Apparently, all of the fucking Groyper Twitter accounts were just like running around doxing every left account on the platform or something. I saw that there was like a platform specific drama, and people are fucking losing their minds over this. People are talking about how, finally Elon Musk banned like the right-wing psychos or some shit. I don't fucking know.
I like the word social media real world there.
It's real to me, gosh darn it.
Okay, so again, this is a huge shift. You just don't see shifts like this in general. But what about the idea that there are other social media places that Democrats can go, and maybe that they're going there instead, and that's making up for it all?
Yeah, there are a lot of folks that I know who are on the left side of the aisle who ran over to Blue Sky or ran over to Threads. But here's the deal, Johnny O. The bottom line is those are minuscule compared to Twitter or X. Use this social media in 2025. 21% of Americans are on Twitter or X. Threads, it's just 8%. Blue Sky.
Low-key, that's higher than I suspected. I thought it would have gone down. I thought it would have gone down from that. I'm going to be honest. I thought it would have been lower than that. And it seems like it's not.
Even smaller, just 4%. You add together the 4 plus the 8, that gets you to 12%. That is only about half the level that are on Twitter/X. So as Twitter/X has gone to the right, yes, there are people, as Johnny moves away from me, from the left, who have come over and started to use either Threads or Blue Sky, but that does not have the megaphone, as my voice is oftentimes, that Twitter/X does. So the bottom line, that Twitter/X has become much more further right, has been a real difference maker in terms of what folks are hearing when they go into the social media real world.
You don't need a megaphone. Harriet and hashtag thank you very much.
Thank you.
Also to reinforce, 21% is not the whole country.
It is not.
People are sleeping on Blue Sky. I don't know anymore. I think all social media is ass. Anyway, I thought I would be able to get to fucking Zohran Mamdani's speech here, but I'm too tired, and I'll get to it tomorrow. I am going to end the broadcast here. That's crazy. That's crazy. How do you know? I didn't even start the music yet, and this big bitch knows that I'm about to be done.
Hey. I'm just doing this to sound like blacks in the chat, so hi.
Anyway, love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Peace, everybody.
Stunning lo-fi.
After the 150 million takeover, the new vids are at an average of 4K views. Oh, shit. I mean, this one got 9K. Congratulations to Beryl Weiss for this fantastic media enterprise. Not that it matters. Nobody fucking gives a shit about what she has to say about anything. The reason why she was hired, the reason why she was placed on top of the editorial team as the editor-in-chief of CBS News is not because she's an unimaginably popular figure or speaks truth to power or any number of those things. It's exactly the opposite. And it's also precisely the reason why after she fucking left the New York Times, she was still able to launch a media franchise known as the Free Press, which we just looked at, and also simultaneously start an unaccredited institute of higher learning, Austin University. It's because she sucked up the fucking billionaires. That's it. She serves an audience of a select handful of very powerful people. That's it. She doesn't need a real audience, because as long as you glaze billionaires, you can guarantee this NPR bleeped. Like, is that like an inside joke that they have or something? Is that like an editorial standard? I unironically thought Austin University was a meme in this community to learn how to be a gay liberal pilot. I am just now learning how wrong I was. Yeah, ironically enough, one of my rage moments came from the 60 Minutes coverage, which now Barry Weiss completely controls, as a matter of fact, on this billionaire-backed institution that is unaccredited. Because she's just literally doing what mainstream press does, except maybe like marginally more conservative, while simultaneously abiding by the exact same aesthetic standards of like liberalism and liberal mainstream media resources. That's it. But she has to present it as like this bold, brave, rational approach that people simply do not want to hear. And in some respects, she's not wrong. People don't want to fucking hear what Barry Weiss has to say. But she's here to say, regardless, she's here to stay regardless. It's dog shit. They literally are just like constantly chirping about cancel culture and like institutions of higher learning. They attack all of the enemies of the super wealthy in this country. I don't know. I don't know what to say about it beyond it's something you can get virtually everywhere in mainstream news, including from Barry Weiss back when she was at the New York Times and doing the exact same shit. The notion that this kind of coverage is brave or unheard of in like mainstream liberal resources is so stupid. You can never find those exact same articles on any number of different legacy press publications. Never. Famously, the first like 6 to 10 months of Israel's genocide wasn't entirely revolving around college campus politics. Directly funneled through every legacy publisher. Obama said he particularly enjoyed a Marin bit when the comedian jokes that progressives annoyed the average American into fascism. I think this was a fault of some progressive language, was almost asserting a holier than thou superiority. Dude, I hate this shit so much. I get annoyed by the woke scolds. Okay? I get annoyed by the woke scolds. You don't get to say that. Okay? You, as Barack Obama, don't get to say that. The Democratic establishment doesn't get to say that. They are the ones who have used woke scolding as a weapon against their left flank. There are millions of people exactly like me who want to be progressive and are progressive and advocate for progressive values and hate the annoying, smarmy, constant sanitization of like everything that we're saying. And these guys have used that against like the Bernie Bros, for example, to basically carve out. The Radlibs have used identity politics and weaponized identity politics to basically carve out their left flank cynically. And in the process, yes, they have made people really fucking annoyed with them because that's all they stood for. Okay? It's so crazy to me because Obama did this in the election cycle. He literally came out and was like, well, black men seemingly don't want to vote for Kamala Harris because we got a misogyny problem. Like, he literally said that. That was like 3 months ago. What are we talking about? Not 3 months ago. Oh my God. So much time has passed. It's fucking crazy. It was a year ago. I can't believe it's been an exact year, as a matter of fact. Holy fuck, time is not real. Oh.
That is why the free press.
Yeah, also, again, hyper niche stories about like medicine for trans people. Once again, the New York Times is bread and fucking butter. I think the most remarkable aspect of Barry Weiss's career is exactly how fucking unremarkable she truly is. Okay? Because every single thing that she is reported on that she considers to be like this incredible, brave piece of journalism, every single thing that she's talking about that you get punished for, like, none of those things, and I mean none of those things, are actually punishable in any way, shape, or form in the New York Times or in any of these other liberal just like, when you're in the press, in the comforts of the West, like, how do you get yourself to do this as what you would call news coverage? Like, it is so demonic, bro. It is so demonic. She's another Hassan obsessed person. I know, all my fucking ops, dude. Except, dude, at this point, I've realized that just everyone is an op. We live under a capitalist organization of the economy. If you consider me to be a threat to any of that, whether a threat to your moral standing and your lack of interest in changing things, or whether you consider me a direct threat to the existing hierarchy, you will, or a threat to your career ambitions in media or in defense of the Democratic Party, it is always going to be, there's always going to be people that will just go, nah, fuck these guys. Fuck this guy, Hassan. I hate. By the way, Barry Weiss, this is a good time to mention it, and I don't think John Oliver is going to mention it. But Barry Weiss basically made a living off of trying to get pro-Palestinian campus protesters and pro-Palestinian campus professors fired from their jobs. Just like Ben Shapiro. So the idea that she actually wants to foster free debate on an Institute of Higher Learning was already fucking ridiculous. It was ridiculous from the jump. Why wouldn't he mention that? One, a lot of people don't know that. And two, it's usually just like, it's a lot of people just don't know that. Let's just say for the John Oliver team, I'm willing to say that they probably don't know that. But usually people don't talk about it because obviously it's like you're seen as like an anti-Semitism czar when you do stuff like that, and that is a bipartisan position that has broad consensus in all of the institutes of higher learning, mainstream media, and also in Congress. So yeah, liberals also like